Hello, this is Paul with Logics Magazine, and I'm excited to be back today. It's been about a month since we produced our last video. Had a whole family tragedy that we've experienced, but I'm glad to be back. We're all back healthy. Everything's going good, and I'm excited for what the new year is going to bring. But before the end of the year, let's go ahead and get you prepared for your email, your phone, and your video interviewing. Okay, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So everybody thinks that all you got to do is learn how to program and you're going to get a job. Well, it's a lot more complicated than that. For example, obviously you have to generate the skill set. You have to learn and develop a very strong skill set. You have to put together a portfolio that you would be very proud of. One that's been reviewed by other controls engineers or programmers, and you've gotten the feedback that this is a really solid program. Something that demonstrates your competence, that's unique, unlike anybody else's. Has some really cool and interesting projects in there that you have personally done and can walk through a hiring manager, decision maker. Those are all very important. On top of that, what you got to do is you got to build a network. And that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about today. This is really critical to your success. Probably as much or more critical than learning how to program is how to build your network. And it all starts with either email, phone, or video. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. What do I mean? All right. Well, let's start with email, right? A lot of times when you apply for a job opportunity, email is going to be one of your most common methods of communication. Well, what's important here is to realize that one of the best things you can do is start preparing yourself for the emails. And what I use some templates. I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about, and then you can go ahead and copy these and use these yourself. There's just a couple of them, but I think it should start you thinking along the lines. You can create these emails, put them into a file, and hang on to them, and then when the opportunity occurs, you've got an email that's practically written with very little modification needed that you can send out. It's already well thought out. It's already put together and very short, simple, and professional. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. And I think that why this is important, before I show you, is that you want to sound professional. You want something put together ahead of time so that you can quickly respond. And you want to think about these things before you start the whole interview process. All right. So we'll take a look at a few of them, and I think you'll see what I mean. All right. So let's go ahead and go to our email correspondence templates. Now here we're talking. This is a introduction email to get an introduction. Right? I mean, we're going to build a network. What does that mean? We're going to need to be introduced to people that we don't know. And an easy way of doing that is via email. So let me share with you an example. So hi, manager's name or the person's name, right? I hope all is well with you. As you know, I've been looking for a new job or position, let's say looking for a controls engineering position. I noticed that you're connected to so-and-so or a company, and was hoping that you could introduce me or introduce us if you feel comfortable doing so. I've included a short bio below to provide context, but let me know if there's any other information I can provide. I appreciate your help. Then your name. Now, in the bio, you just put one or two lines which give your name and why you want to connect. Make it short and simple and easy to pass along. That's all you're doing. A short little email that you can put together. Now, here's why this is important. In building your network, over time, you're literally going to send out dozens, if not hundreds, of these emails. You don't want to have to craft them every single time from scratch. That's why you use a template. All right. Okay, let's look at another one here. This one is, let's assume that I've already applied to a job, right? To an opportunity. And, excuse me, I want to follow up on that, right? So I'm going to say, send an email that says, hi, and put the manager's name. I hope all is good. And now you need to put this in your own words, this is just some examples. But I hope all is good. I know how busy you probably are, but I recently applied to a controls engineering position and wanted to check in on your decision timeline. I'm excited about the opportunity to join your company and help complete the projects or lend a hand with your team. What you want to do there with those two sections is an opportunity to join your team or department or company and help with something that you know that they're working on, which hopefully you've gathered that information during the initial interview. What are they working on? What's important to them? And then add that in this email, right? So back to the email. Please let me know if you need any additional information or if you would like to review or preview my project's portfolio as you move on to the next stage in the hiring process. I look forward to hearing from you. And then sign your name. Now, mind you, again, how many jobs are you going to apply for? Over, let's say, even your career. Probably a good handful of them at minimum, right? At minimum, you're going to apply to a good handful of them. So that's why this is a very valuable email template. All right, so let's go ahead and go a little further down. All right. And this one you've got to get comfortable with. You're going to be given an offer. You want to turn it down. You're going to need to turn it down because it's not a good fit for whatever reason, right? All right, so hello, manager's name. Thank you so much for the offer for the automation engineering position. I appreciate you taking the time to consider me and for answering my questions about the company and role. However, after considering the opportunity, I decided to accept the position in another company, or you might say, I do not feel at this time that this is a good fit for me. It's been great to get to know you and more about the company and hope that we cross paths in the future. All right? Now, I picked this one in particular because I want you to get comfortable with turning down opportunities that are not good fits. That salary is not what you know, you've researched and studied and understand and know that the value that you bring is worth. If the working conditions, the job description, any of that is not what you are specifically looking for, then I highly recommend turning the opportunity down because you do not want to live through an opportunity or live in it working for a company that is just not a good fit. It makes life very uncomfortable. Okay, so now that's email. Now we're going to talk about phones because odds are that is going to be one of your primary ways of communication besides email is that they're going to call you and ask for an interview, schedule an interview with you, or during the interview, or ask questions. There's just a whole lot of different things. So what I want to do is talk to you about phone interview questions, all right? Now, here's what I recommend you do. Okay, so with the emails, I recommend that you create a template of all the different types of conditions that you may need to send an email to. I'll put a list of the most common emails down below, all right? So I would take a look at that and say, do I have an email for that? Do I have an email for this? And write a template. Write it now. Don't wait until you need it because you're going to be rushed for time. As I mentioned earlier, you may not be thinking about it clearly. Take your time and write the emails. There's generally about 7 to 10 emails you need to write. They're about 5 or 6 lines each. Very, very simple. If you have to, write one a day. But take time, think it through. All right? I'll put some more information down below. It really would be a whole couple of videos on just emails. But I want to spark your thinking. All right? I want to spark it. All right? Just get you thinking about it. Feel free to ask me any questions after this video, right? And I'll help you. I'll even help you craft your emails if that's what you'd like. All right. So during a phone interview, what you want to do is be able to comfortably and smoothly answer these top 10 questions. These are very, very typical questions. What are your strengths? What is your greatest weakness? Why should we hire you? Why did you leave your last job? Tell me about yourself. Now, I'm going to put these down below. You need to be able to, in just a sentence or two, answer every single one of these. Now, they may ask you to elaborate, and that's fine. Again, 1 or 2 sentences, nothing more. But you need to be comfortable answering these questions. I'll write the questions. I'll put this down below. All right? But you need to be, in your own words, be able to answer these questions. It's very, very important that you do that. And you need to get comfortable with it. So you need to practice this, all right? The last place you want the last place you want to be stuck trying to come up with the answer for these is during the phone interview. All right. A couple of other notes about interviews that I have experienced in my time is I love the earphones, the earbuds with the phone. Set the phone down. Hopefully you've got wireless. If not, put it in your pocket. Make sure it's fully charged. Make sure that you're prepared. The phone's right there. You've got good network connection. And essentially you're ready to go. Make sure that you have taken some tea, some water, and moistened your voice. Have a cup nearby. I'm going to tell you, don't be nervous, but we both know that you're going to be, all right? But relax. If you've prepared yourself properly, you have the skill set, you've built a portfolio, you've got the network, all you're really doing at this point is just kind of introducing yourself. And if you've practiced these questions, you're going to be able to go through very, very smoothly. Okay? Just relax. That's the most important. The second most important is be able to smoothly answer these questions. All right? Now, when it comes to Skype and Zoom and all the different video conferencing technologies that there are today, here's my piece of advice for you. Start practicing with them. The last thing you want to do is miss out on an interview or an opportunity to meet somebody because you did not know how to manage the technology. If you have to, you get a friend, a cousin, your brother, your mother, your uncle, your sister, anybody to practice. Go in and set up a Zoom account, right? Practice Zoom meetings. Get comfortable. And you can't do it once and then all of a sudden you know it. You've got to study it a little bit, right? Skype is another one. Team meetings is becoming more and more popular. So get familiar with these technologies. Practice them ahead of time. Don't wait until somebody tells you, right, calls you and say, hey, we're going to have a Teams meeting, and you don't know nothing about it. I would recommend, in my experience, Teams, Skype, Zoom are the 3 most common, in my experience, video conference software that's being used today. Regardless of what is out there, get familiar with a couple of these so that you're comfortable, all right? If you know a couple of days ahead of time that you're going to have a Zoom meeting, and then go ahead and practice with the Zoom. Start it up, set a meeting, join the meeting and start a meeting. Just get comfortable with it. It's really not complex technology. You're not going to necessarily facilitate this. What you're going to do is generally join a meeting, which generally includes getting an email or a text with a link. You click on it. It opens up the software if you've had it downloaded. And then you can use your camera. If you don't have a good camera, go get one, connect it, set up the software. So as you can see, there's lots of little details here that are very important. And I will tell you this much. If you don't do this and you are in the process of building a network, doing lots of informational interviews, trying to meet people, maybe doing a few interviews, I can almost guarantee you're going to lose out on an opportunity only because you don't know the technology. And that's something that's preventable. That's the most important point I want to share with you. All right. So this is Paul at Logix Magazine. I'm going to put this information down below. It's very, very important that you take a look at it, copy it, save it, and then start working on this as soon as possible. Don't wait, right? Don't wait until you need it. Start answering the questions building the emails, and I'm going to put these 3 in there so that you'll have 3 of them to work with, all right? If you have any questions, need any help, let me know, all right? So this is Paul with Logix Magazine. You guys get to work. Keep programming, all right? Talk to you later.